Welcome to The Defiant. I'm your host, Tegan Klein. My guest today is at the helm of one of the most influential and largest exchanges in the world, Johann Kerbrat, Crypto General Manager of Robinhood. In today's episode, we'll delve into his journey with Robinhood Crypto, his thoughts on the future of the industry, and the groundbreaking work they are doing to democratize finance for all. They have launched a lot of products recently, including a self-custodial wallet, staking, Web3 games, and more. Before we dive into this, Johann tells us about his background and responsibilities at Robinhood Crypto.
Yeah, so I started as an engineer. I've been an engineer all my life, worked in payments and blockchain since 2010. And I joined Robinhood Crypto as a head of engineering initially a few years ago, and then moved to the president position like a couple of years ago. So, at this point, we're really focusing on building accessible and usable crypto product for everybody. We just launched in the EU recently in December of 2023. And we're excited to keep building.
Amazing. All right. And then give us a little bit of background on Robinhood as a company.
Yeah. So, initially Robinhood started just about stocks and, removing commissions to buy and sell stocks. We actually launched crypto in 2018. And at the time, we only had like a couple of coins. And since then, we've been adding a few coins. We have now like 15 on the platform. You can transfer and deposit in eligible states. And so, it's been a journey, but very happy to where we are now.
Amazing. And what was the impetus that made you break into the crypto space initially?
Yeah, so we're really thinking about this mission in our head that, crypto is going to be the framework that will power the financial world of tomorrow. Traditional finance has a lot of technical debt in some way. For example, last week we celebrated that we moved to settlement at T+1, and in crypto it's not even a question of a day, right? So we really think that blockchain technologies and crypto overall will be able to change and revolutionize how things are working. So really, a lot of what we are building is towards this world. I think tokenization of what I said is something that we're really excited about, and we are going to keep working on.
Amazing. Well, looking forward to what comes down the pipeline there. And Robinhood is known for having a great user experience. I think it's actually one of the most enjoyable ways to buy and trade and hold. And so with that, tell us a little bit about that product-focused, user-focused ethos.
Yeah, so really one of the things we try to do at Robinhood is make complicated product easy to use. So crypto is one of them as well. Like we want to make crypto more accessible. We want to lower the barrier to entry to crypto. As an engineer, I always say that, but I think crypto was made by engineers for technical folks. When you use a product on crypto, you're always thinking about what is the layer under it, how is the transaction working, all these kind of things, when a lot of customers just want a product that works and works well. So that's what we've been focusing on. And the way we build product at Robinhood is really to interact with our customer and get this feedback loop between customers and us. So we do a lot of user research. We spend time with them. We try to understand where they see issues when they use our product, and then we try to incorporate it in the way that we design, in the way that we build things. And I think, for us, it's really like the most important point from this podcast as well is like, don't hesitate to give us feedback. Tell us what are the features missing, what are the features that you want in the platform, and then we'll try to incorporate them when the time is right.
That's great. And what's the best way for someone to give you all feedback?
In the app, you can, reach out and tell us the features that you're looking. A lot of people reach out on Twitter as well, X now. So, don't hesitate.
Amazing. And just to kind of understand that from a founder's side, do you have a team of user researchers that collect that and analyze that? And then what's that feedback loop like internally to your product team and engineering team? Yeah,
so, our product manager and our user researcher and our designer are spending a lot of time together. They usually, the product manager will start kind of drafting how things will work initially. Then the designer will do a first prototype, will use this prototype and go to customers and kind of discuss and see how they interact with the product, if they see like any complexity, if they misunderstand something. And then the same way with our current product, like even the one that people have been using for 5 years or more, we still go to user research and try to improve it and understand like things. So it's something that, is really dear to my heart. Like, I think if we want to be successful, if we want to make crypto the financial framework of tomorrow, we need to spend more time with our customers and really understand how things will improve.
Absolutely. All right. And I want to circle back to kind of the ethos of crypto. And as you're aware, I'm sure there's two sides of crypto in my mind. There's kind of the monetary sovereignty side or monetary policy side. And then there's also the Web3 side. And I think you can be both, but where do you guys kind of stand on that? What are you most excited for?
Yeah. So, personally, I got into crypto because I always felt like the financial framework was a bit broken, like the way that, your bank accounts can be frozen suddenly, or the way that everything works with like delays between settlements and all these kind of things were always really frustrating for me. So I really wanted to have a better technology that I could send money to somebody and they will receive it in the next minute instead of waiting like a couple of days for the wire to land. And that's kind of been my way of thinking for a long time about crypto. And I think at Robinhood, it's kind of the similar way. We really want to make this technology useful. I don't think it's only about trading. I think it's also about bringing this technology to replace some of the old traditional finance. And I think, sometimes we, in America, we will always think about, there's already a good financial system, there's already good bank infrastructure. But if you think about, other countries in the world where they didn't necessarily have the same growth in the banking system and financial system in the 80s and 90s, they completely jumped that part of the time. And so for them, having their bank on their phone and being able to just transfer and receive payments directly and self-custody it, I think is a big thing. And at Robinhood, we try to kind of cater to all this world. So we have our Robinhood product in the US that, everyone is using, but we also launched recently a self-custody wallet where you can custody your crypto, you can interact in the Web3 world, and you can kind of do everything that the self-custody wallet will allow you to do.
Today's podcast sponsor is Carpet Key. Carpet Key is defining the standard in non-custodial on-chain asset management infrastructure. Carpet Key delivers financial solutions to leading DAOs, fostering the growth of the members of their DeFi treasury network, which already exceeds $2.6 billion in assets. Carpet Key creates robustness for the DeFi ecosystem as a whole, and they always do it the right way. Learn more at carpetkey.com.
And you're famous for your low fee philosophy. Can you tell us a little bit about that kind of activity when trades happen and how you approach fees?
Yeah, so, for us, we really want to make crypto accessible, like I said. And so we think that also comes to the cost question. So we're really happy that, Robinhood offers the lowest cost to trade crypto on average. We had experts check the math, it's something that we really spend time on. And the other part that we did in the past year was really to push on the transparency aspect of things. So if you go on Robinhood and you want to place a trade, we'll show you exactly what the spread is and how much Robinhood will make from that. And I think that's very important because when we talk to our customers, we saw that a lot of people get lost in the way that the different companies are charging. Some people are charging a fee. Some people are charging a fee plus a markup on the spread. Some people are just charging a rebate like us. And so it's really hard to compare. So what I recommend to people usually is to look at the number of coins that they get at the end of the transaction. And that should tell you, which one has the lowest cost.
That's great. And then how do you differentiate from some of the more traditional crypto exchanges, say Coinbase or Kraken?
I think, every product has a lot of good and bad. I think some of these products like Coinbase and Kraken are a bit more towards like advanced customers. We are a bit more towards like everybody who wants to get into crypto. I think one of the main advantages of Robinhood has been to offer almost everything that you need in your finance journey. So you can buy and sell a stock, and you can use that money to buy and sell crypto at the same time without moving between apps and between companies. So I think that's a huge advantage. And then, you saw recently how the products that we launch. So we, for example, have the credit card now. We also have Robinhood Gold that gives you a yield on the cash on your account. So, it's a bit more of a full suite of products for you.
That's great. And, there's been a lot of movement on the regulatory side. We saw the approval of the Bitcoin ETF. We're potentially getting an ETH ETF. I would love to understand your thoughts on that movement, but then also really understand where Robinhood Crypto stands on kind of the regulatory side in the US.
Yeah, I think, for us, we stand in the sense of we need more regulatory clarity in the US. I think it's been too long now that we are kind of living in this world where it's not clear. And when you think about other jurisdictions like the EU that are coming with a framework called MiCA in January 2025, I think we're late, and I think it's time for us to catch up. I think on the ETF side, it's really exciting. For us. And for me, the way I think about things is we can bring more accessibility to the product. And so, for example, people that use Robinhood and have a retirement account will now be able to acquire ETH through the ETF. And I think that's really powerful. Like we're just making the pie bigger. We're making the accessibility better. And for Robinhood, we'll be ready the same way that when the Bitcoin ETF launched, the 11 of them were available on the same day on Robinhood. We'll do the same for the Ethereum ETF. And so, customer will already have the choice. If they want to own the actual underlying assets, they can use Robinhood Crypto. If they want to use a retirement account, they will be able to buy the ETF through their retirement account or even through their brokerage. So really, they will have the choice.
Absolutely. And how do you think about the trade-off when it comes to kind of safety for users, but also those users being able to choose from a variety of different tokens and not kind of YOLOing into scams or meme coins as we've seen this bull market?
Yeah, I think, my kind of thinking is that customers are able to make the decision for themselves, and we're just here to help them make sure that what they are sending is not to a non-scam or something like that. So when customers are transferring their assets from the platform, the address is being checked by some of our systems, and if it's a non-scam, we'll actually alert them and tell them like, hey, are you sure you want to do this? And so that's the kind of thing that I really want to focus on. Education modules that really help customer understand what they are doing with crypto. We have these modules for almost everything from trading to transferring to what is this asset, what is the difference between this type of crypto. And we try to implement these modules everywhere. So we have it on Robinhood Crypto in the US. We also have it on our wallet. And we try to really bring the level of knowledge higher to the point where people will be able to make this decision and decide if they want to try these new assets or not.
What Google does for the web, the Graph does for Web3, with decentralized access to data. The Graph is making strides to ensure that no one authority can get in between you and the data you need for generations to come, and upgrading entirely to the decentralized network on June 12. Whether you're building Web3 or along for the revolution, there are many ways you can help protect data integrity. Still using the Graph's hosted service? Take advantage of unmatched features like 100,000 free queries per month, easy payments by credit card or DRT, and gasless upgrades. Upgrade by June 12. Not technical, but want to join the data autonomy movement? Join the Sunrise Initiative today on thegraph.com/sunrise or delegate to help secure the Graph network and support the Web3 vision.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that's one of the core ethos of crypto is kind of giving power back to the users. And so it's great to educate them and kind of give them that choice. And you mentioned having 15 tokens. How do you go about the process for choosing tokens? Obviously, there are hundreds, if not thousands today, not all created equal. So how do you go about that process?
Yeah, we have a pretty extensive listing framework. We look at a bunch of criteria from technology, security, operation, liquidity, all these kind of things. And, in our past 5 years or more that we are existing, we always try to not list too many tokens. We want to make sure that we can offer like the best cost, like I said earlier, and all these kind of things. But at the end of the day, the customers can use the self-custody wallet, so they can buy on Robinhood, transfer to the wallet, and then they can pick from a much larger selection there.
That's great. And so the cost goes up, I guess, if there's not a lot of liquidity around the token, or how does that work?
Yeah, usually it's just like a question of, market structure. Like if there is not a ton of liquidity, if there is not a ton of volume, usually you will see a bit of a higher spread and things like that. So for us, we've been focusing on the much more higher volume assets at this point.
That makes sense. Okay. And then you took a big crypto native step with the introduction of the self-custodial wallet. Talk to us a little bit about what made you go so crypto native. Were there any kind of user stories behind that demand? Yeah. Talk to us a little bit about that decision.
We had a ton of customers, trying to get into crypto, buying on Robinhood, transferring, and then going into one of his wallets where the UI and UX are very complicated. And so our mental model was really like, how can we bring customers like the same UX UI that they are used to on Robinhood, the things that are easy to use, but also give them like the access to Web3. And so that's kind of how we see it. It's kind of our gateway to the Web3 world. They can use this wallet and then connect to any dApps. They can swap without gas. They can cross-chain swap now. So, we really try to optimize for every need. And, customers actually love it. They feel like, this is the same kind of simple UI that they have on Robinhood, but they can now do a lot more things. And the other big important point is a lot of our customers were asking for self-custody. They wanted to use Robinhood because it's lower cost, but they also wanted to keep the coins in self-custody. So that was one of the other big reasons.
That makes sense. It's great to see. And it's nice that users have more options for self-custody as well. And then how do you think about DeFi in the context of your wallet?
Yeah, I think, it's when you see a ton of innovation, it's happening in DeFi right now. So that's something that we're really excited about. I think the way that we are going to see more of these like real world assets coming into the blockchain is going to be through DeFi. And I think, that's really what we are the most excited about. And, the wallet has been available to all iOS and Android users globally. We have 100,000 of users in 140 plus countries. And I think that's where, I get really excited. It's we are trying to make crypto globally and accessible to everyone. And I think that's what's happening right now.
Great. And then what about staking? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, we launched staking for Solana in the EU last month, I think, if I remember correctly. And it's something that we are seeing our user in the EU adopting very, very quickly. And so that's something that, we think we are going to keep building on. At this point, it's really, like I said earlier, like we are talking to our customers, they are telling us what they are looking for, and staking in the EU was one of the top requested features, so we built it.
And what was the choice around Solana specifically?
I think it was really just like Solana was one of our top coins over there, and we were able to really make a simple product where you can stake very quickly. There's only a few days necessary for the assets to be put on a validator and removed. And so that's really our reason why we went to market with that. But at this point, we think we are going to keep adding chains on that as well.
Interesting. Okay. Exciting. Looking forward to the future roadmap there. And then is there anything else on your roadmap that you want to kind of highlight here? Would love to kind of learn about what's coming down the pipe.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we keep really focusing in the US in low cost offerings. So we are going to keep pushing there and making the product as easy as possible for user, but also start working on more advanced features. So there will be more to come there. And in the EU, really, we've been launching our product recently, and we've been adding features like almost on a weekly basis. So the best way is just to use a product, I think, and see all the new features that are coming up.
Absolutely. And are you looking at kind of account abstraction, and how are you thinking about that?
Definitely looking at it. I think at this point it's a bit too early for us to talk about it, but definitely looking at it.
Is it something you're excited about, or do you feel like we need to kind of make more innovation there and yeah?
Yeah, almost on everything. We're almost always excited about some of the new aspects. What we want to make sure is that it's something that actually can be used by millions of people in a safe way. So usually the reason why we are not launching something like the first is because we want to try things, test things, and see if we can actually launch it to our million of users.
Absolutely. All right. And then, as you know, Coinbase made a lot of waves with the introduction of Base, their layer 2. Is that something you all are considering as well, kind of continuing down that crypto native path?
At this point, I don't think we have anything to share there. I think we've done a partnership recently between our wallet and Arbitrum, and I think that's something that we've been excited about. We've been able to really offer low cost transaction, cross-chain swap between networks, and that's been working very well. I think, if at some point we feel like there is something differentiated that we can do, if we can lower the cost or if we can build something that doesn't exist yet, it's definitely something we'll look into it.
Okay. And then of those 15 tokens, can you mention which ones exist on the platform today for the listeners?
Oh, yeah. We have like I said, 15. So we have Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Doge, SHIB, Avalanche, Litecoin, Uniswap, Ethereum Classic, Link, XLM, Aave, and USDC. So USDC is our only stablecoin.
Amazing. Well, excited for that list to grow. And then where do you kind of stand on the modular versus monolithic debate? What are your guys' thoughts there?
Both have pros and cons. I think, modular, the advantage is that it's easier to iterate and replace part of the process. Monolithics, I think, has advantage around testing and being able to see everything at once. So we're still, I think, early in that decision before we decide if one or the other is better.
Absolutely. Makes sense. And I know you have thoughts on kind of the future of gasless architecture, and I would love to hear that.
I think it's really important for us. We've seen that one of our main customer pain point when they were using a self-custody wallet in the past was they wanted to trade in a specific token, but they didn't have the gas token. And so it was like a multi-step operation before they were able to really do one thing. And it was also very difficult to understand the cost because you have to think about the cost to acquire the gas token and then the cost to actually do the transaction. So when we launched the gasless swap on the wallet, we saw a lot of people really excited about it. They thought that it was simpler, easier, and also better to compare between wallet on which option was the cheapest. So I think it's something that we need to keep investing in, especially with the new chain that we're trying to integrate. And I think it will keep being like a good thing for the customers.
Protocol 20 introduces Sorbonne, which is Stellar's cutting-edge smart contracts platform. This creates new surface area for innovation and provides new opportunities for developers to build protocols and products that create access to everyday financial services. So it means a gradual increase in transaction capacity and a chance to fine-tune applications. And it's the most transformative upgrade to the Stellar network to date. Woohoo!
And when you look out maybe 3 to 5 years in the crypto space, Web3, what excites you most?
I think tokenization is really something that, I know it's becoming a bit of the hot word now lately in the crypto space, but I think it's really something where we're really excited. I think at Robinhood, we see all the financial system between the brokerage and the other places that we are running. And I really think that so many times when I see a problem, I'm like, it will be so much easier with blockchain. So I think if we are able to launch a good tokenized product for real world asset, it's going to be a huge game changer for the industry.
Absolutely. And you mentioned a number of ways that you listeners can get involved in Robinhood Crypto. You have staking, you have the wallet, also, of course, trading and holding. Anything else? Any other ways for listeners to get involved?
I think it's just, like I said earlier, like on the wallet, you can do almost everything on Web3. So you can play games, you can connect to dApps, you can learn and create like educational modules. So really, I think it's just a question of getting into it and giving us feedback, and usually we'll try to respond.
Amazing. Okay, and then the last question is just, how are you defiant?
I think we try to change how things are set. We try to, when there is a status quo on something, we always try to move out of it. So, for example, the commission-free system that we launched in the stocks at the time, like everyone was thinking that it was crazy and that we will not be able to survive with it. And now almost every brokerage is implementing a commission-free trading system. And so, I think for us, that's really what we try to do. Is every time we launch a product, we want it to be differentiated. We want it to kind of change the way that things are working. And a lot of time we get a bit of resistance at first, and then people are deciding that this is a new norm.
I love that. Genuine leaders. Amazing. Well, I really appreciated the time. Thanks so much for taking it.
Of course. Thank you for having me. It was great.